It's time for Dirt Daily, and today we're back in the shop working on the Give-A-Way Gladiator. Today's project, Tuffy Lock Boxes. These are lock boxes that'll go on either side of the bed that'll allow you a space to securely haul things when you're off-roading. Things like tools, recovery gear, spare parts, whatever other knickknacks you like to bring. And it's fully lockable so that if you're in a rough part of town and you're away from your truck, you won't have your things go missing accidentally. And when I say your truck, I mean this truck. This truck is going to end up belonging to one of you because this is the Jeep Gladiator that's being raffled off by Cal 4-Wheel. Cal 4-Wheel is an organization that fights to keep trails open in the state of California. Trails you've probably heard of and trails you probably want to run someday. Trails like Johnson Valley, Fordyce, the Rubicon, and to fight to keep all these trails open, they need to raise funds, and the way they do that is with a raffle every year. This year, I volunteered to do the build-up. It's not going to be the most extreme rig, but it'll be a great rig that you could drive every day, you could haul all your stuff with you, and be ready to go four-wheeling and run some of those hard trails like I talked about before. So, let's get to work. These are the Tuffy lock boxes. There's one for the driver's side, there's one for the passenger side. Each lock box has 3 openings on the top. They all are lockable. They all use the same key. In fact, the same key is used on the driver's side and on the passenger side. Even though there are 3 different openings, it's all passable inside, so you can put something in the front, you can access it from the middle, you can put something in the back, you can access it from the middle. There is a divider that sticks up about halfway, so if you have like a tow strap here and you're driving up a hill, it's not going to slide all the way to the back. But you can still access it from this middle opening. Step 1 of the install. You're going to get these 2 little rubber bumpers. They have threaded holes in the top. And you'll access the bottom of the lockbox from inside, and you'll bolt these on. One right about here and one in the very back. Step 2 of the install, especially if you have the spray and bed liner from the factory, go to your local hardware store and grab a 6mm tap and come through here to these 4 holes. Actually, there's 5 holes, one up here in the front, 4 along the side, and chase the threads in those holes. These are threaded holes that are already in the bed, and the lock boxes will use bolts that will go into those holes. Take the tap and clean them out to make sure that there's no bed liner that's gotten into the threads. I also took some blue tape and I just marked on the top of the bed rail where those holes are, so it's that much easier when I'm assembling it. Next, we're going to set the lockbox up inside the bed. Be careful not to rip those little rubber bumpers off that we just installed. The Gladiator bed has 2 tie-down points on each side. One up here in the front, which will still be accessible because the lockbox will sit up on top of the fender, but this one in the rear will actually be blocked by the lockbox. However, this tie-down point will protrude through the lockbox in that lower slotted hole on the side there. And then there's this J-shaped bracket that comes with the kit that will hook around that tie-down point, and then it will bolt to the inner wall of the lockbox where there will be a little shackle hanger type thing, and you'll be able to tie down stuff on the inside there. This cargo light will go through that upper hole in the lockbox, and so when you turn on your cargo light, it'll light up inside each lockbox. So if you're digging in there for spare parts or recovery gear after dark, you can still use these cargo lights. Step 3 of the install, we are going to push the lockbox up flush against the inside of the Gladiator bed. You can see here that it's flush enough so the tailgate will still close. You're going to want to look down inside this last cubby, make sure that the tie-down point is protruding through that slotted hole and that the cargo light is lined up with the slotted hole on the side. We'll push it forward, push it up tight, make sure everything's where it needs to be, and then we are going to grab these little 6mm Torx head bolts and screw them through the inside of the box into the inside of the bed so that it will hold it up flush against there. This step is just a little bit tricky because you're basically working blind. The bolt holes are underneath the overhang of the bedside and up inside the lockbox. So you kind of have to feel around in there, figure out if the box needs to be raised up or down, pushed around a little bit. Feels like this one needs to come up just a hair. And you're working with a bolt, a lock washer, and a flat washer. So you don't want everything to fall apart as you're digging around in there. Step 4 of the install, we're going to take that hook-shaped bracket that I mentioned earlier. That's going to feed down inside here, hook around that tie-down point, and then it will line up with these 2 holes on the outside here, and that is where this little tie-down bracket will attach. All right, step 4, 5. I don't really know what step it is. 6. Step 6, we are going to tighten all these bolts down. We're going to use, once we have them all started, we can then run them in with a little tiny drill bit. So those are all bolted in, and the bolts that go through the tie down in the bottom is all ready to go. This side is done. We'll peel all our pieces of blue tape off and we will move on to the other side, which is basically just the same thing, only over there. Once you have the passenger side on, all that's left is the tonneau cover. One note about that passenger side, if you have a Gladiator that has that AC plug down in this corner, the 115 volt, you'll still have access to that. There's a cutout inside the passenger side lockbox, so you can still plug things in, and there's also the same matching cutout as the driver's side for the other cargo light. Just lays up here. And then you unhook it. Both of these have rails that run down the side here that are coated with Velcro. Got it. In order to put the tonneau cover, there are some rails on either side here, and at the far end, there's a little tiny screw. You have to take that screw out, raise that rail up, and then the tonneau cover tucks down into that. There's a place where it keys in, and then you slide it all down in there, and then put the screw back in and holds it all into place. Then you simply roll the tonneau cover out. There will be these crossbars. They'll sit on these kind of little steps. And then at this end, the end of the tonneau cover locks into this kind of rail. Oops, everything's flopping around. And then the side of the tonneau cover hooks into the Velcro. That's a pretty easy install. You just bolt it to the side of the bed, use that hook bracket to the tie down point, and you now have lockable storage in the bed. The bed's a little bit narrower now where it's 3 feet where before it was 4, but you have a tonneau cover to cover camping gear, soft stuff, plus you still have the tie downs in these corners, so if you want to put a spare tire back there or some other large thing, you can tie it down. It does come with about 12 keys. I'm not really sure why, if they were expecting the latches to be different, but they're all the same. So you have a few extra keys. So all that's really left now is to put this giant boulder in there. In case you were spying this boulder in the back corner, this is what they use when they take the Jeep to trade shows and show it off and try to sell raffle tickets. If you're looking for a raffle ticket, go to the website that is listed in the comments below. It is where Cal 4-Wheel is selling the raffle tickets so that one of you can put your stuff in these cubbies next year when you're going 4-wheeling after you win this Jeep. I have a few more things to do to it. It's going to get bigger and better, but that's it for this Dirt Daily. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to buy your raffle tickets because I want one of the viewers that watch this show to win this Jeep. That's it for this Dirt Daily. We'll see you guys next time.